time for our July plan with me. So grab your favorite candle, a cup of tea, and of course your journal, and let's dive right in. I knew from the beginning of June that I really wanted a Portuguese tile-inspired theme for July. There's just something so beautiful about these ornate little tiles that really spark joy in my life. I chose 4 different types of tiles, and these were mainly chosen because they were quite easy to do and fitted within my skill level, because these tiles, while beautiful, are very ornate and the patterns in them can get very complex. I found that practicing these in a different sketchbook, but also using the dot grid, really helped to define and refine the pattern and make sure that I could get it symmetrical across the tiles, kind of, somewhat. Don't look too close, they're not great. But the theme just really came together really beautifully, and I thoroughly enjoyed pulling this one together. I played with different variations on the colors, and I found that the best use of color for this one was with a dark blue outline and a light blue center. So the light blue is almost the main attraction and the dark blue just emphasizes that. And I thought it brought dimension with 2 different colors, but it also brought in that theme, and just with 2 colors you can achieve such a dramatic effect, and I really think it looks beautiful. I'm using my trusty Faber Castell brush pens to fill in the spread. You'll see I go in with the lighter blue color just to fill in the main part of the tile, and then go over and outline it with the dark blue and fill in, for example, on the lattice, the little stars. This shot gives you a nice indication of the 3 different types of tiles that I chose for the spread. See, it's like a circle, and then some flowery type ones, a lattice one, and then the big daisy flower almost in the center. I also wanted to choose a font that was very simple, and I just went with a very simple cursive with bigger spacing in between the letters, and it just looks so elegant amongst the tiles. The next spread we are setting up is the budget spread. I have reduced this down to 1 page, so we're no longer using a double spread for this. And basically what it is I have 2 columns on this page, and the left is for my main kind of bucket of expenses, which I have bucketed up with my husband, and then on the right is going to be any other expenses. And I've just split that up into the 5 weeks of the month, so that every week I have tracking of what I'm spending. For this page I decided to go with the lattice tile, so every spread for the rest of the month will focus on 1 tile specifically, and this one is the lattice tile. At the moment it looks like a hot mess, and that's because I did the pencil far too dark in preparation for the spread. But as you can see me erasing it here, it's starting to pull together, and you can start to get the overall feel for this spread and how it's going to look once completed. It isn't as exciting as some of the others, but it is very simple, and for a page like this, simplicity is probably best. Don't worry too much about the page on the right hand side there. That is something that I need to do at another stage. I really want to do a pretty quote page here, and I have an idea there, so maybe I'll share that with you when we get started. This next spread is looking at a gratitude log and my habit tracker. I have never really done a gratitude log in my bullet journal before, and I don't know, I got the inspiration. Apparently if one writes down what one is grateful for every day, it makes you a better person. So hey, why not? Let's try it. I had some extra space in the journal, and let's give it a go. I chose the kind of flowery themed tile for this one, and just cut it off in the bottom and top corners of the double page spread. And I really think it frames the pages quite nicely and brings them and ties the 2 pages together. Now, I am not very good with my hand lettering, and as you can see, I am trying different variations here on what I wanted to do and the different fonts and things I wanted to use, and eventually settled on something very similar to what I had in the beginning, and just making the letters quite small and spaced out so that they fill out the space in that way. Just repeating this on the other side of the page to give it some balance. And on this side of the page is my habit tracker. And here I'll keep track, I think it's about 6 or 7 different habits that I'm going to keep track of. I'm just going to fill in a little dot on the calendar there for each time I complete that habit. And that's it for this 2-page spread. I'm quite excited to jump into that gratitude log and see if it has the promised effects on my life. If you have used a gratitude log in the past, let me know in the comments below how that's worked out for you. And now we move on to probably the most useful spread of the month, and that is our July calendar. And I decided to go again with a theme that has quite a lot of space on each day to fill in different tasks and events. I mentioned in my last video, which you should definitely check out, the link will be below, that I was going to start using my journal for work purposes, and I can safely say that this was an excellent idea. And now I have everything in one journal. I don't have 2 separate bullet journal systems for work and personal. I love the fact that I have access to pretty spreads every single day as I fill out my work to-do list and get inspiration to keep motivated throughout the day, and I've been thoroughly enjoying using it. So for this calendar spread, I went for the more ornate pattern, which took me hours and hours to fill in. It looks pretty simple here because obviously I've planned it out, and you can see my incredibly dark pencil lines there. But filling this in and getting the pattern to repeat because of all the lines and things over it and the different blocks, and oh my word, the amount of little eraser crumbs that landed up all around the house because of planning the spread is phenomenal. But in the end, yeah, it came out pretty well. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that these things take time, and what you see is days, weeks of planning just to make a quick YouTube video. So take the time when you're completing your journal, when you're thinking up themes, when you're planning it out. Enjoy the process, get involved with it, just lose yourself in the process, and it just makes everything so much easier and so much more fulfilling as you look back on the spreads that you've really put a lot of effort into and a lot of thought into. And I find that it makes my planning so much more enjoyable because the spread that I'm using is so pretty and so well thought out. If you would be interested in a full tutorial on how to pull these tiles together and the different patterns and the patterns I used specifically, just pop me a comment in the comment box and I'm sure that I can arrange this for you. Boxes on the right hand side, I've left space for me to put my goals for the month. Yes, this month I'm having goals. Last month I didn't feel like I had any goals and I was feeling a little bit down, but this month there are definitely going to be goals and we will be achieving them. And I've also have a second box there just for some overall tasks that I want to get done during the month that don't necessarily fall onto a specific day or of the month, so just so that I can pop them in there so that I know that they need to get done. And that really is the spread. I think it came together really well. It is quite busy if you look at it, but also really pretty and simple at the same time with that repeating pattern. And I really enjoy looking at this page, and I'm going to enjoy coming back to it every day as I go through my planning. And on to the last spread for this video, and that is setting up our first weekly spread for July. Here I am using that circle pattern. It's not really a circle, but I can't think of another word to describe it. And that is the theme for this one. If you remember from my last video, I said I was going to be using this journal now for work purposes and that I needed a lot of space every day to write my tasks. Well, I don't need a lot of space every day to write my tasks, to be honest. I'm finding that just using the bullet journal system means that I don't need a lot of space to write down tasks because I've got other places to put them in. I don't need to put a week's worth of tasks on one page. I have a bullet journal planning system for that. So I really only need about a third of a page for my lists. It is tight, but so far I haven't run out of space. I've run to the end, but I haven't run out of space. So I'm going to stick with this layout for this month and see how that works for me. I think it's going to be fine. So what I've done is I have split out the page into thirds. So on the left hand side I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On the right hand side I have Thursday, Friday. I don't need a space for Saturday, Sunday because I'm not at work. And then in that sixth space at the top, I've just got a space where I put my personal tasks for home, and there I use what they call the Alistair method, or some people call it the rolling weekly. There's different names for it, but basically all the tasks lists gets listed below each other and assigned to a day in the dot on the left hand side of the grid. And that is the spread done and dusted. And as I go to flip through all the different spreads that we've just set up, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments which one of these pages is your favorite, which one of the tiles is your favorite. I actually think it's the gratitude log and habit tracker that are my favorite, but this last page is also really, really pretty. So give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. There are some videos that YouTube might want you to watch, and goodbye for now.